The 8th day of October. Lou, Jackie, and Jason here, joined by Ron DeArmond and Sam Stiers. They are from the Pella Wildlife Company. And in case you're wondering what the Pella Wildlife Company is, you're going to be able to experience it for yourself coming up here in just a matter of days. And that would that be November 1st then?
November 1st.
Now, tell everybody where you're going to be located.
The Academy of Wildlife Education is our outreach to the general public. It's a wildlife education institution. And you'll be able to come down and learn about everything you ever wanted to know about native Iowa wildlife.
Okay.
Oh, cool. We'll have bears, wolves, cougars in the mall.
How about starlings? We got plenty of those on the camera behind you there this morning.
Yeah, like I said, we have it all, and again, it's a very unique opportunity. We get a lot of university students come in to do their work-study hours, so they actually help run it for us. And then the general public comes in and they learn about things that are relevant to them.
Okay, I'm going to bring something up here that's going to be very obvious that you need to address, because I'm sure you get this all the time. What on earth are you doing bringing animals like this into the public? Why are you doing this?
Well, obviously, the biggest reason is because of the misconceptions that most people have about wildlife. And in Iowa, it's very important to understand the role of stewardship. Over 98% of this state is privately owned. So that means the wild animals out there live mostly on private land. Federal government can't get on there, the state can't get on there without permission, so it's going to be up to the individuals to take care of the wildlife that's in their backyard or on their back 40.
Okay, so you're talking about taking care of them, but I don't like what I'm seeing here.
Well, obviously they play tennis when they also handle wildlife.
We can talk about this because, again, when we'll talk about being Halloween's coming up and stuff, and there's a lot of myths about our featured wildlife ambassador today as far as bats go, and a lot of people just don't like them. Lou, I don't understand why.
I don't understand either. We embrace them. I put a bat house up after we moved over to...
A bat house?
I put a bat house up, and it has a little Batman logo on the outside of it, because bats are so beneficial to the environment. It's unbelievable how many insects that they consume in a single night, and so we encourage them to come over. We even put one up in our garage for a while in the really super cold weather a couple of years ago, and it hung out for a while, which I thought was kind of cool. But people don't understand. They're not rats with wings, as a lot of people might think. There's the one that's what kind of bat is that?
Well, these are big brown bats, and I'll have Sam get one or both of our ambassadors.
So that's a big brown bat?
We will take them out just so you guys can actually touch a big brown bat, because this is part of wildlife education. Once you see it and touch it, you start to appreciate it more. And
you won't be as afraid.
You won't be as afraid of it.
Okay, so why do people think that these are rats with wings, essentially?
Well,
besides the fact that it's just not, oh my goodness. It's
go show Jackie a little close.
Cool.
Yeah, go walk over the other way.
That is so
other way. Yeah, go show Jackie and Jason exactly what this is about. Now, we're very unique, and our organization is the only place in the state to where you can actually see big brown bats. They're native to Iowa. Most of your bat exhibits are using fruit bats from other parts of the world because they're so easy to take care of.
Wow.
But again, we're about wildlife conservation.
Here, so make sure we have the camera so the camera can see that, you guys.
We'll make sure
turn the camera.
There you go.
There you go.
But again, this is a big brown bat. They're native to Iowa.
Big brown.
So little browns are even
It's a little bit smaller. Yep, a lot of people see a little.
I didn't think they were so furry.
Right, they're actually very soft, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice an animal to have around. Wow. Bats save Iowa farmers about $1.76 billion a year in pest control.
Wow. See that?
We need bats.
Now,
and unfortunately, this is how a lot of bats come to their
Okay,
demise.
so they help out our farmers, but why do so many of these come inside our houses? Because that's when people get freaked out, isn't it, generally?
Right, and then that's when they chase them with these, as far as tennis rackets and stuff. And again, to remind people not to kill bats with tennis rackets, we've named all of our bats after tennis rackets, so that's Wilson over there. And again, even law enforcement tends to show up with tennis rackets to take care of bat problems.
What's the wingspan on something like this?
We're looking at probably 8 inches.
8 inches.
Yep. So again, when we get people talking about bats, they're talking about the big bats like this, and they're really like this. All of the bats in Iowa are what we call micro bats. They're extremely small.
And these guys won't suck your blood?
No, nobody's turning anything to a vampire here.
Okay.
Okay, so all of you Twilight fans, too bad. You're not going to turn into a vampire getting bit by one of these.
Talk about the mosquito control, because West Nile's a bit of a concern here, and these guys eat an amazing number of mosquitoes in the course of a night.
Right, one big brown bat bat will eat 10,000 mosquitoes in a night.
In a night.
In a
single night. Now, but obviously you don't want them to. You don't want to use tennis rackets on them.
It definitely has those teeth.
Oh yeah, but what should people do if they see these things in their garage or their home?
Basically, bats have got echolocation, which is when they send out the signal.
They use Doppler like me.
Absolutely. Hey, if it wasn't for bats, you wouldn't have a job today.
That's right.
So again, you open up your windows, you open up your doors, they'll find a way out. They're very sensitive to drafts and stuff, and so they know that's an avenue out because they hibernate in caves. And so they understand how all of that works. So we always tell people, if you have a bat in your house, open the windows, open the doors. As they go from room to room, shut that door or window. The echo will come back solid. They'll figure their way out, and so you don't have to kill them, because we're about ready to lose our bats as a species.
Now, what's the biggest fear here? Is it the unknown? Is it because they might carry rabies or anything like that? Is it just, what is it? What makes people so freaked out?
Well, again, you hit that nail on the head, too. Most people think all bats carry rabies, and actually the occurrence of rabies in bats is on the decline. Less than 1/2% of all bats carry it, and you have to be exposed to any type of disease in order to have it. And so the occurrence of rabies is extremely low. The reason it's such big news when somebody gets bit and they get rabies is because it's so extremely rare. That's why we don't inoculate the general public against rabies like we do the flu. It's that rare. It's actually cheaper to address it on an individual basis.
I was once told that these guys, that their mouth is so small that they can't physically bite you.
It's tough. I mean, all of our bats, we had to get a special permit from the DNR to go and collect these bats because they're not in the genetic bank. And so they have to go through quarantine. And once they come out of quarantine and we work with them just like this, from time to time we do get bit, and yeah, it's very tough for these guys to draw blood. I can't even remember if we've had anybody get bit to where it actually did draw blood.
No, you really
I don't think so. It's tough. Yeah, they just don't have a big
So what do you feed these guys then? You just let them fly around, eat insects, or do you feed them mealworms, or what do you do?
Right, we feed them mealworms. There's, again, a protocol for us. Sam is a wildlife ecologist. She's an animal scientist, got her degree from Iowa State, and she's our senior staff person. And so we have to weigh the bats. We have to weigh the mealworms to make sure we keep everything in proportions, because we don't want them to get overweight, and you don't want to underfeed them. So yeah, we know how much an individual mealworm weighs and how many each bat needs to eat in a day.
This is okay, so you're going to have bat. What other animals are you going to have where people can interact, but at least know what they're like and not be as afraid?
Right. Well, again, we've got everything. I mean, with the cougars, bears, and wolves are coming back into a state, and we can address those issues at another day. But we've got those animals at the Academy, bobcat, lynx.
What will be there Friday when you guys open up?
Just everything.
Everything.
Bear, wolf, cougar, bobcat, lynx, all three different colors of red fox, gray fox. We even have Arctic fox. We tend to tell the story from the last ice age to today.
Okay.
As far as wildlife conservation, we have porcupines. So it's real fun.
Sounds interesting.
Now, hang on. We have 4 hours to fill here, so let's talk about this bear and wolf thing. Now, the cougars we hear about from time to time, but bears and wolves, not much.
Well, and again, it just depends on what part of the state you're in. Up in northeast Iowa, they're having more bear issues than they will down in central Iowa, because there's just a heavier concentration of them up in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And we actually assist the Wisconsin DNR. We're waiting for the snow to fall. We go out and help track wolves and about 23 different other carnivores for them. So we're part of the carnivore tracking program for the state of Wisconsin. And we'll take students up with us and teach them how to do field research, collect data, process it, stuff like that.
We could talk to this guy all day.
Wow. Trust me.
Almost out of time here, but you are coming back. We're going to have to have you come back. But you guys are opening up on Friday, November the 1st.
Opening.
At where again?
Merle Hay Mall, the Academy of Wildlife Education. We're in the Target wing. You can't miss us. Just listen.
What does it cost to get in?
$5 for adults, $2 for kids.
That's piece of cake.
Right, and again, if the bats all go bye-bye, then somebody's going to have to learn how to eat all of these little guys. So we brought treats for everybody.
Don't tell me you brought worms, too.
That's right.
Oh, here we go.
Go ahead and try one of those bad boys.
What the heck? You only live once.
Go ahead, Sam.
Mealworm.
Jackie's got to have a
dried mealworm
I'm
topping.
good.
This is for your
good.
salad.
Hey, if you ever
Like,
do Rice Krispie
they're-
treats,
oh my
substitute
goodness.
mealworms for Rice Krispies.
Bats
That's
and
a
worms,
tasty
oh
treat.
my.
All right, well, Wilson, you did a good job, my friend. This is little Wilson here, the big
Not
brown bat.
There's not much to it, really.
On Great Day. Ron, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to have to come back and we'll teach people some more things about wildlife, too.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man. Good to see you, bud. It is 5 minutes before 8 o'clock. We'll be right